On this episode of the Bronze Metalist podcast, we talk about an album from a band. The band is called CARCASS. The album is called Heartwork. They are a band full of cardiologists. Ba-dum, 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 bum. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Bronze Medalist podcast. I'm Kale.
I'm Owen. Owen? I just call myself Owen? I usually say I'm OJ, but...
Usually, you've reveled the secret of your true name. We can now banish you back
oh, no.
to the lower planes.
Don't say it backwards. Niwo.
Niwo.
Yeah.
Well, you can't banish yourself, I think. I don't know.
I've banished myself from a few places.
You've banished yourself from a few places? Yeah. I've banished myself from a bar.
You got yourself thrown out.
I got myself thrown out. I'm allowed back there. Mm-hmm. I just don't want to go back there because I hate that place, and that's part of why I got thrown out in the first place, because I was getting really fucked up because I didn't want to be there.
I know exactly what you're talking about too.
So yeah. Anyway, someday I'll tell that. Maybe I have told that story on this podcast. I don't remember. I haven't told it on the podcast with you.
You've told it to me.
I've told it to you separately, though.
Yeah.
Anyway, as I said in the intro, today we're talking about Heartwork from CARCASS. This is an album from 1993. It's also the start of my favorite month of the year. That's right. It's Death Metal December. Oh, yeah. The bells are a-jingling, and they toll for thee. Your death is nigh.
The death jingle bells.
The death jingle bells are a-ring-a-ding-dingin'.
Toll for thee.
They toll. Ask not for whom the jingle bells toll. They toll for thee.
And they do it with a lot of growling and...
Yeah, there's a lot of that involved. I guess before we get to the album, what's up? What's going on?
You know, man, I'm such a boring person.
You always say that.
But and then it's true.
And then eventually you'll tell some crazy story.
Well, sure, but all the crazy stories are in the past. I mean, I'm in my mid-40s now. I got small children.
Got a nice Kentucky Fried Chicken hat there.
I do. Yeah, this was a gift from a mutual friend.
Oh, okay.
Ours.
Yeah, I also have one. Mine is at work. I'm not wearing it. One thing that we can do is you have a mystery bag.
A mystery bag right here.
A mystery bag. Yeah, we've now become an ASMR podcast. Thank you. We have a mystery bag of liquor that you've brought, and
well, how do you know it's liquor?
Well, it's in a brown bag. If it was beer, I feel like it wouldn't have been.
What if it's like a fruit drink?
You've brought me a small, skinny bottle of Hawaiian Punch.
Hawaiian Punch.
Which I love Hawaiian Punch, so that's okay. But I'm assuming it's liquor. I feel like I know what it is. I feel like it's some new flavored vodka from Phillips.
It is not.
It is not.
No,
okay.
I actually went high this last time I brought over fortified wine.
Yeah, you went real low. You set the bar real low last week.
I spent a fin and
you gave over old Abe.
And bought us both a drink.
You're trying to figure out what you're doing down there. He's got the bottle below the table. I can't see what he's doing.
I'm trying to leave it a mystery.
There's plastic around it.
There's plastic around it.
Okay, I feel like this is some kind of whiskey. Now that there's... wow, you were struggling real hard with that. You're missing a whole aspect of this experience.
All right,
okay,
here we go.
There's a cap that is no longer on there, and he's about to pour. Well, I could see a little bit there.
Here we go. There's a little bit of a pour.
All right, okay, that's a brown liquid.
It's a brown liquid.
I have a cough drop in. Let me get rid of that.
Yeah, I don't know if that'll really jive with this.
Drink a little bit of water to cleanse the palate,
as it were.
I'm a civilized man. Oh, you could have gotten, if this is whiskey, you could have gotten some of my Glencairns to really enhance the flavor. They're on my bookshelf in my living room.
Oh, really? Glencairns?
Mm-hmm. I have 4 of them.
That's fine.
Because I used to drink way too much whiskey.
Now, see if you can tell what this is.
Okay. All right. First drink here of the mystery brown liquor.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it smells like whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
Tastes like bourbon to me.
Okay. Yep.
Some kind of Jack Daniels.
No. You'll notice the lack of oakiness there.
Yeah. Okay. But it is bourbon.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm not all that experienced with bourbon, to be honest. I'm not really a bourbon guy, so I'm not sure what this is.
Is that as far as you're gonna guess?
Yeah, that is as far as I can go, I think. This is Jim Beam.
Yeah.
This is Jim fucking Beam.
Jim Beam Black.
This is actually not terrible. Like, I've only had regular Jim Beam once, and I fucking despised it.
Really?
Yeah, I did not like Jim Beam. I'm not a bourbon guy in the first place, so it didn't go very well for me because I usually go with Canadian Scotch or Irish,
right,
typically, and especially Canadian and Irish are a lot smoother.
That's why I said I wasn't sure what camp you were in when I walked through the door, whether or not you were going to care for the bourbon.
I'm still trying. I still got to get rid of a little bit of the menthol taste from the cough drop I had, but yeah, okay, that's not bad. Jim Beam.
Yeah,
I can dig it. I can dig it. I've had worse whiskeys than that one at the very least. How much did that run you?
Ringing endorsement. $15.
Not bad especially for an upper echelon.
Right. Yeah, this was
barrel anyway.
This is fancy. This is extra aged.
The fancy Jim Beam. Yeah, that's not. Like I said, I've had worse whiskey, so. That you did well. You did far better than last week. A whole $10 more. Okay, so I'm trying to think of things that happened in my last week, and I just realized this is being facilitated by this whole podcast is being facilitated by one of the things that happened in the last week. I got a new computer.
Woo-hoo!
Got a brand new computer. I've been telling myself I was going to do that for ages and ages. And I got it. Came.
Oh, yeah.
Came all over my studio here.
It wasn't just breathing hard.
Yep. And speaking of breathing hard, this thing does not breathe hard.
Yeah, I can't hear a thing.
It's wonderfully quiet. I absolutely love it. I love the computer. Mm-hmm. Yesterday, it has so far to do anything. Maybe I shouldn't mention it because I don't want to jinx us, but Windows crashed twice yesterday.
Oh, really?
It's Windows 10 and...
Oh. Right.
Windows 10. I'm sorry, Microsoft gods do not hurt.
Do not abandon us at this hour.
Do not abandon us. I keep on running to my printer behind me, which I finally decided to hook up and get new ink for because I want to print some stuff off and new character sheets and whatnot because I haven't had to print off a new character sheet for D&D in ages. So I've finally got some stuff going that I want to do that. But yeah, the computer's good. I have yet to get games that really justify the cost of it, but then also the cost of it is part of why I cannot buy games to justify it. I'm trying to spend a bit less in the wake of this, so I also have money for Christmas gifts.
Now, did you use your credit card to buy it?
No, I used my debit card.
Oh, you did use your debit card.
I think there's some info I need to update for my credit card in order to be able to use it, and I've let that sit for ever and ever and ever just because I'm too lazy. But because I never use my credit card, so it's like I don't need to worry.
That's how you build credit, man.
I know.
Son, that's how you build credit.
I know, Dad. I don't know why I went for a deep voice there.
Yeah, I know, Dad.
I know, Dad. I know, Dad. It's me, Arthur Morgan from Red Dead Redemption. All right, boy.
I have to get that game.
I know, boy. You gonna get that new Red Dead, boy? You got some money for me, boy? Go use it and buy my video game.
See, this is why I feel left out. Yeah. I don't know this shtick right here.
Yeah, I mean, that's just how Arthur always talks, and it's wonderful. Arthur in Red Dead 2, I think, is perhaps the best performance I've ever heard for a protagonist of a video game. Like his voice performance is fantastic. Beyond just the boa meme, all right, boy. Beyond that, I mean, and including that, everything about the performance is fantastic, and he's become one of my favorite characters I've ever played as in a video game. just a little bit about Red Dead 2. I really enjoyed it. I'm done with it now.
Right.
There was more that I could do, but
what console do you have that for?
I have it for my Xbox One.
Okay.
Both of them are sitting over there. And the Xbox One is the big brick, and then the PS4 is the smaller brick. So yeah, I also need to get some games for my PS4, but like this is all the tech things happened at once. So
it's that time of the year.
Yeah, so I got to conserve the money so I can buy my mom some Christmas gifts.
Aw,
because I got her in the draw. And
who's a good son?
I know. I also got to get my nephew something still. His birthday's next weekend.
So you guys do the what is it called, the white elephant gift or the
white elephant would imply, I believe, that it's a joke gift.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But we do it's the basic idea where you draw names from a bowl or a hat or whatever, and then you get gifts for that person. That way you don't have to worry about like, oh, I got something for this person, but not this person and this person and this person.
Right, everybody just buys one gift.
Yeah, it's like one gift or a couple of gifts. Like you get a list and it's like, these are some of the things that I want. And that way you don't have to worry about that, and you don't also have to spend like $700 on gifts for everybody.
Everybody's getting pretzels from me this year, by the way.
Everybody's getting Dots pretzels?
Yeah.
Are they Dots?
Probably, yeah.
They better be Dots.
They're going to be Dots.
Yeah, they should be. Make sure they're Dots.
I'm not...
Dots pretzels are a big fucking deal in North Dakota, okay?
Yeah, they are. Actually, they're a big fucking deal other places as well.
Yeah, they're a big deal everywhere, I think. Well, not everywhere, but especially in the upper Midwest.
Right.
I don't know exactly how far they distribute Dots pretzels.
Because was it Quinn that was telling me that he saw them in an airport in like Arizona?
It's probably.
Yeah.
They're probably all over the place. I think they did get some airport deal I remember hearing about in college or something like that. But yeah, Dots pretzels. Get those. Get those for Crimbus.
You know, they're not paying us anything.
They're not. They could be. I mean, relatively local company.
Yeah.
Where are they based?
Velva.
Okay. Yeah. Small town in North Dakota with a big pretzel company there.
Crazy.
Yeah, we're not sponsored by them. We haven't done a sponsorship bit in a while.
We haven't. I mean, we need to, once again, if you're out there and you just want to pay us, what is it, $1 or is it $5? What is
it could be anything.
Whatever.
$1 a minute?
We'll talk nice about you. $1 a minute.
$1 a minute.
Man, can you imagine somebody says, here's $20, I dare you. Talk nice about me for 20 minutes.
Here's $100. I want you to talk about me for an hour and 40 minutes. Here's a nice crisp Benji for you. I want a whole 2 podcasts worth of material about me.
We're gonna need your Facebook page, and so we have all the information.
We're gonna stalk you hardcore.
We have to.
I feel like that's not a very. If we actually got people to start doing that, that would not be a very tenable. Very tenable system.
Because it might be funny once.
It's not. Yeah, that's the thing. It might be funny once. We don't know if it's gonna. We do know it's not gonna be funny twice. We know that for a fact.
Yeah. You all right?
I got tuberculosis.
That's right. You got the croup. You got the.
I got consumption, which is why I've been losing so much weight.
Really? You've been losing weight.
Yeah, you haven't noticed? You haven't noticed how much weight I've been losing?
I'm sorry. Well, you wear so much you wear baggy clothes.
I know. No, I honestly don't know if this sickness has caused me to lose any weight. Mm-hmm. I'm still freaking coughing, hence the cough drop at the start of the episode. And the coughing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm real tired of being sick, and I wish it would stop. I wish it would just stop.
It will eventually. One way or the other.
Well, that's true.
One way or the other, you're gonna not be sick anymore.
Yep. It's either going to kill me or I'll beat it. On my sickness the other night, because I ran out of NyQuil and I was like, that's okay. I probably don't need it anymore. I'm not that sick. Mm-hmm. And I made it a couple nights and it was relatively okay. And then not last night, but the night before, I went to bed, and then I went to bed and then didn't get to. I went to bed at like 11:45 and did not get to sleep till probably 3 a.m.
Wow.
I was just tossing and turning and coughing, and I decided, maybe the NyQuil would be a good idea. So I went and got some more of it, and I got some.
At 3 o'clock in the morning?
No, not at 3. God, I wish. Is CVS open at 3 o'clock in the morning?
No, like Walmart is.
I suppose I didn't think of that. Is Walmart, do they actually do that here?
What, 24 hours?
Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I don't know why I thought they didn't.
So on Saturday night they close at midnight.
Okay.
Because of the blue law.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, because they want people to go to church in the morning, right? That's what that is?
Instead of work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a North Dakota thing.
Actually, 3 o'clock in the morning is the best time to go to Walmart.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Like, I guess I haven't been to Walmart at 3 o'clock in the morning, but I feel like you'll see some really weird shit, and Walmart is weird enough already.
That's what I'm saying,
That's
man.
the whole reason?
That's what I'm saying. You go in there, people that are in there smell a little bit like booze. I
don't want to get mugged in Walmart.
No.
It's not, they have cameras.
They have cameras.
No one's going to do anything.
No.
Because it's 3 a.m. They're just going to watch.
Yeah.
The night shift at Walmart is just a bunch of sadists. It's just a blood sport. Just like, hey, the guy's getting mugged in aisle 3 in electronics.
Get down here and watch.
Look at this shit. I'm going to put that on Live Leak.
I'm selling squares. Who's got...
Get your tickets here. Get your tickets. He's just blocking the door.
Who buys the mugger in the second round? All right.
What about the pasty, chubby white kid, huh? No takers?
No takers?
I understand.
All right.
Yep. And that's how I would become a carcass.
Ah, this is what we call a segue.
That was a fucking terrible segue, but here we are. And we're going to start talking about Carcass. It's a U week, so if you want to lead off about Carcass, I do have their Wikipedia page open, but if you want to lead off with what you know about Carcass.
They're from Oxford, England, yes?
Liverpool.
Liverpool. Are they from Liverpool? I thought they were from Oxford for some reason.
It says Liverpool here.
I'm already wrong. See, a lot of the stuff I know, when I was learning about bands and stuff, it was my friend said, this band did this thing in high school, and they worship Satan, and, and that's we had no Wikipedia.
Yeah, there was no Wikipedia. Metal Injection did not have their Wikipedia fact or fiction section yet.
They did not. So a lot of the stuff I know, I mean, I believe that Jeff Walker and, I can't remember, Bill Steer or somebody, met at med school.
It says here that the first iteration of Carcass was formed as a school band by Bill Steer and Ken Owen.
Ken Owen, that was it, yeah.
And then the Jeff Walker joined. He's formerly the vocalist and guitarist of a band called Electro Hippies. It does not say where they met, though. It does not say where they met Jeff Walker. So you said med school?
That's what I had heard when back in 1993.
And that would have been Bill. Let's see if Bill Steer. Biography on Bill Steer. Scottish mother, English father. Spent his teenage years in the Wirral. I don't know what that means. Various sources. He was exposed to hard rock and heavy metal in the form of Motorhead, Deep Purple, Black Sabbath, UFO, Iron Maiden, and Led Zeppelin. Does not say anything about med school.
Yeah, and I also heard they're vegetarians.
That I believe is true.
Yeah.
It says the band's lyrics often focus on animal rights issues. Walker and Steer are both vegetarians, and Steer used to be a vegan, and Walker was what they call a hunt saboteur. So
a hunt saboteur.
Really?
So he would go find people hunting and sabotage their hunting?
I imagine that's what it is. It's the direct action that animal rights or animal welfare activists undertake to interfere with hunting activity. And it's sort of a little different in England too, because hunting in England is kind of, it's like you've got waterfowl hunting, but then there's also the hunt.
The hunt. Yes, quite.
Yes. We're going to go hunt. There's foxes.
There's the fox.
So there may be something to do with, I don't know how popular that sort of shit really is over there, but
they're like, save the fox.
Yeah, save the fox, mate. I once knew a guy from Liverpool that we played video games together, and one night another one of our friends who was from England, he was apparently the owner of a bar or part owner of a bar, and they were having a big block party, and so he was extremely drunk. And he got into an argument with one of his bartenders, one of his female bartenders. I don't know. They were throwing insults at each other. They were both absolutely hammered. And then later they apologized to each other, and we're like, "Oh, you apologizing to each other. That's so nice." And then she says into the microphone, "Guys, won't you come have a drink with us?" And we're like, "Oh no, most of us are in the States." And then the guy from Liverpool says, "Nah, love, I'm from Liverpool. They don't let us leave till we're 35." So CARCASS.
Yes.
Liverpool.
They're from Liverpool.
They're from Liverpool. They started, according to the Wikipedia, in 1985. Mm-hmm. What was their first album? Do you remember the name?
I do not remember the name of the first album.
This is going to become a quiz. First album, I believe, is called Symphonies of Sickness.
Symphonies of Sickness. What was the album that had Corporeal Jigsaw Quandary on it?
I don't know. Oh, no, it was Reek of Putrefaction.
Right.
I'm sorry, in 1980. Reek of
Putrefaction.
No, that'd be...
Is it Putrefaction?
Putrefaction.
I've been saying it wrong for a long time.
That's okay. You're still my friend.
Oh, thanks.
Normally, that sort of thing, when people have said a word that
Deal breaker.
wrong, deal breaker.
Yeah.
Can't. That is an untenable relationship. I'm going to keep using that word.
Untenable?
Yeah, throughout the podcast.
Okay, all right.
So yeah, they did that. Heartwork is their fourth album. Came out in 1993.
It was supposed to be their breakout album. It was supposed to be the one that actually got them more public notoriety.
Yeah, and kind of considering sort of the legacy that came afterwards and sort of the deals that they got as a result of Heartwork.
Yeah.
I think it was their breakout album. It's just that the breakout didn't continue.
It didn't take.
Yeah. They didn't stay broken out because of all sorts of mismanagement and whatnot. But about Heartwork itself, what was your first experience with the album?
Listening to it loudly in a car.
All right.
Of course.
Friend of yours?
No, I bought it.
Okay.
And I had in my car. I had a 1992 Dodge Colt.
Do they even make that anymore?
No, it was made by Mitsubishi for Dodge. So I took the D off the word Dodge. Made by Mitsubishi for Odge.
Okay. Because one of your nicknames is Odge.
Yeah.
With a D.
And so, listening to it loudly in a car, and I had Pioneer 6x9s in the back. And, and we'd cruise around in my car. I lived in that car for a while. Actually,
that's the car you lived in.
That's the car I lived in. In fact, I lived in the car when this came out.
Okay. So in 1993, I'm putting together my OJ timeline. That's very important.
Yeah.
That's why I usually have the door to my bedroom closed, because the entire wall is just covered in pins and yarn and pictures of you and trying to figure out.
Me with long hair, me with long goatee, me in a band.
Trying to figure out the timeline of your life when you were dating the crust punk.
Which is more recently than you would think.
It really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was just before I started dating my wife.
All right. So that's it. All right. That's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, she was a mother and she had a station wagon. And
butt flaps? Not on her, on the clothes type.
I was going to say, wow, that's a really personal question for this particular arena.
Because I know that's the thing with crust punks, is they like the clothes with the butt flap.
I believe she did. I remember her telling me that Carhartts were really important.
Okay.
If you're
especially up north here.
Right, because she rode the rails a lot.
Yeah, if you're a crust punk up north, you need warm clothing. But you also don't want it to be too bougie.
No.
So Carhartts. Even though Carhartts are actually pretty expensive.
Pretty expensive.
They just don't look nice.
But they're really effective.
Yes, they're very effective coats. They just don't look fancy.
Right.
Which is probably a big, important part of the crust punk thing. I'm surprised that she actually rode the rails, though. Like, I thought that was just like a meme, but then it's like, no, people...
No, people actually do that.
People still do that.
Yeah.
Anyhow, so this was... The crust punk thing happened after you got into this album, but this album was during the period of car living.
The period of car. Well, it was.
You weren't technically homeless. You had a home.
I had a car. It was in 1992 Dodge Colt. It was the only new car I've ever owned, and I had a roommate.
Yeah, it would have been 1993, so it was a new car, and you had a roommate.
I had a roommate.
You had a roommate.
Yeah, and he was committing burglaries while I was at work.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
What? That was an unexpected twist.
Well, yeah, it was for me too. I mean, we both eventually got a place to live.
Okay. Did he how did he broach the subject of, hey, by the way, I've been breaking into people's houses?
Oh man, okay.
You don't have to say.
No, I know, but
don't feel obligated.
It was houses, occasionally businesses.
Okay.
Sometimes churches, a lot.
Oh, okay. A little bit of a black metal flavor there.
A little bit. And yeah, he was stealing collection plates and stealing musical instruments he would steal.
I mean, those sell for, those retail for a lot, and if they're nice. Okay, yeah, okay.
I mean, it was for drug money, so.
And this was when Heartwork came into your life.
Yeah, this was when that was the year Heartwork came out. Great album, great year.
For you, apparently.
Well, yeah, I got an apartment. He went to prison.
That's the way that story should end.
Yeah.
That is I'm glad it ended that way. It's just like, no one ever punished him for his crimes.
No,
he remains at large.
Yeah.
He's actually still living in my 1992 Dodge Colt.
I hope not. They compacted that thing years ago. But yeah, but I still talk to him. Okay. I see him around, and every time I see him, and I think, oh look, there's an elderly gentleman. Oh wait, we're the same age.
Living life like that'll age you, I suppose.
Yeah. Hey, man, if you're listening, love you, buddy.
You know, I love your gumption. Yeah. Breaking into churches, stealing instruments. That's a genius idea. Sure.
This is going to come back to me. Somebody's going to call me at some point or message me and say, "Hey, man, what were you talking about that in the podcast?" But
nah, I don't think so. I don't think anyone's going to care. It's all in the past. You can't prove it happened.
No, and I didn't say any names.
You didn't. That's true. So, yeah, that is, I was not expecting such a colorful story about when the year that this album came out for you.
I was 19.
You were 19. Oh, you were 19 and living in a car.
Yeah.
That is such a different experience from my 19. That is a vastly different experience.
Had already been kicked out of the military.
At 19.
Yeah.
This is... The story of your life is just unfolding like a grand, really weird book.
And we're recording it.
So, into the album itself, I really dug it. I'm glad that this was the intro to Death Metal December, because I think this is a very... iconic and classic album
very iconic, very classic
to intro us into the month. I think it's a great fit. I think.
What was your favorite part about it?
My favorite part about it, my favorite track was definitely the title track.
The title track, yep.
God, I love the tremolo picking in the intro. Just I can't imitate it, but I love the tremolo picking at the start.
Yeah, that's Bill right there. Yeah.
For me, anyways, hearing that sort of picking always makes me think of black metal immediately, which summons all sorts of imagery to my mind, because black metal is still kind of that one genre that is kind of off in the frightening distance for me.
Really? You really haven't gotten to black metal?
Not a whole lot. Like a couple of bands. I was listening to a little bit of Immortal just the other day because I don't know exactly why I was.
It just happened.
It just happened. I've listened to some Gorgoroth, a very small amount of Dimmu Borgir, because they're just kind of weird.
They are. That's one of those little guilty pleasures of mine.
It's Dimmu Borgir.
Dimmu Borgir.
They're just kind of strange. So I didn't really. I could go back to them. I mean, Goatwhore is black and death metal. So
sure. I
mean, they've got some influence, but what else?
What would you consider Cradle of Filth? What would you?
I guess I don't really know enough about Cradle of Filth. I think I've mostly heard of them as a death metal band. I think. Or associated more with that scene.
They're kind of. I said they're kind of black metal.
Kind of blackened.
They're blackened metal.
You can just add blackened on anything, where it's like we put a lot of reverb on the vocals. It's now blackened.
It's now black. It has a lot of Cajun seasoning on it.
Yep. We left this metal on the stove for too long.
Yeah, we put it on high heat so as to really give that crust on the outside.
Really bring the flavor of hell to it.
Right. Exactly. But leave it juicy in the middle.
And leave it that black metal. Crusty on the outside, nice and juicy in the middle. I tried last month sometime, listening to Mayhem's their actual debut album, which came out after like 3 of the band members had already died.
It's a bit lo-fi.
it was way too lo-fi for me. It's like that's when I knew, it's like, I'm not cut out for this. I'll never be true cult because I can't force myself to listen to Mayhem, and that's like the band. That's like that is like the album. It's like, if you can't listen to this, you don't belong in black metal, and I guess I don't. I think I mentioned I've listened to a fair amount of Gorgoroth, and I like that a little bit better because it's a bit higher. Like, I like hi-fi black metal. I like the atmosphere. I like the imagery, and I like the guitars. I'm just not into like the community all that much, and I'm not into the lo-fi aspect all that much. I can dig lo-fi death metal more than I can dig lo-fi black metal, because lo-fi death metal tends to just be a wall of sound.
Right.
Lo-fi death metal is just grindcore. for the most part. That's just most grindcore, I think.
It sounds like somebody's operating some sort of a gas-powered machine.
Yeah. Like, did I show you Pissgrave that one time?
Oh, of course. Yeah,
That's a lo-fi death metal band, and they're like,
great.
I can enjoy that. But it's also that's also kind of like not a gimmick, but kind of
part of their shtick.
I think. So yeah, the thing about this album is that it is not lo-fi. This is
very
from
well produced.
1993. Oh my God, it is so well produced. Like, you wouldn't expect a death metal album that came out in 93 to sound this good.
Right.
Every episode, I feel like I have to talk about Metropolis Part 2 from Dream Theater. That's a very well-produced album.
Yeah, it is.
And it sounds probably as good as this. And Dream Theater was a way bigger band, and that's prog metal is infamous for being overproduced. And it sounds just as good as this, basically. And I think the production kind of is what really brought this album up. Everything's so tight.
This is the era where the production really was at the cusp, the cutting edge of everything prior to 1990 is it's on a 4-track and
go okay,
hey, good luck.
Rolling, good luck. And yeah, I think especially for this scene, it sounds fantastic. I think another album that comes to mind that's from not quite this era, but like sort of the tail end of that era is like Blackwater Park from Opeth, which I think that was 99. That album sounds amazing. Opeth, I think, was fairly popular at that point. But what is your favorite track on this album?
My favorite track is also I don't want to.
It just fucking slaps.
Yeah, it does, and that's what he kept saying all week too. He was listening to this, at his desk doing work. Hey, this album really slaps, dude. Really slaps.
I think I saw some meme where it was like, "Man, this shit slaps," and I was like, I mean, I've heard that before. I haven't really said it that much, but I was purposefully listening to something. I was like, "Man, this fucking slaps." Like, it's nice to hear an album that is as iconic as Heartwork is, because I think this is kind of the CARCASS album. Is Heartwork.
And and the funny thing is the one that the CARCASS album that
some people kind of hate.
Some people kind of hate,
or at least at the time kind of hated.
What do you take the next album, Swan Song?
In Swan Song, absolutely, yeah. Some people kind of hated.
A lot of people that was a real divider, among CARCASS fans. It was.
Wasn't that sort of the purpose though? Is they kind of wanted people to hate it?
Yeah, they were like, "Hey, we have all these riffs that we could never use before because they're not really serious." And so they fuck it, and they put them all together, and there was some songs on there that were the real, honest, good songs.
Yeah, it's nice to hear a band have fun, and I think at that point, especially once Swan Song came out, CARCASS was kind of done anyway.
Yeah, they'd been through the ringer.
They never toured. Like, I believe I read that the album, I don't remember exactly where it had placed on like certain chart, or was like placing above other metal albums that were coming out at the time, despite the fact that they were not touring to support it. Like, they were not currently touring, they were not selling it at shows, they weren't doing anything. It was just on shelves at record stores and stuff, and it was still selling better. I think probably to CARCASS's credit as a band and their fan base and whatnot.
What label was this on? I think it was on the same label as
this. Heartwork itself was on. Let me click on Heartwork's page. Where is Heartwork? I want to find it. Yeah, Heartwork. There we go. This one was released on Earache and Columbia.
Earache in Europe and Columbia
in America.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I don't. Well, and the funny thing about that I was also reading about Swan Song is they basically double dipped. Is they got paid by Columbia to make it, and then they also got paid by Earache after they were like, oh, we don't want to work with Columbia anymore or whatever, or Columbia doesn't want to work with us.
Right.
And so then they basically sold it to Earache.
Do you want us to make an album? Oh, you pay us. Oh, here's an album. You didn't leave the room.
We just had it.
We just had it. I don't know why I keep trying to do the accent. It's terrible.
I mean, it sounds like a bad John Lennon impression is what it is. So yeah, I like. I love the story of Carcass. I think they're. Would you consider them to be like the biggest death metal band at that time when this album came? Like one of the most popular?
In 1993, yeah, I'd say they were one of the more popular ones.
Now it's Cannibal Corpse. There's no question about it. Now it's Cannibal Corpse. But like at that time,
you also said, of course, Death.
Death, yeah, I suppose. Death kind of straddles the line sometimes. They're like at the time when Death's first couple albums came out, death metal wasn't a thing, and so it was just like we can do anything we want. This is heavier thrash metal. And then now when you listen to it, like for me, as someone that didn't grow up with that, when I listen to it, I'm like, I mean, I can tell that this turned into death metal, but it it sounds different because it's you're going back to, it's like looking at a slightly earlier evolution of a very familiar dinosaur.
Sure.
Or it's like this eventually evolved into T-Rex. It's like, but it's not T-Rex.
But it's not T-Rex.
That's not a T-Rex though. Still badass, still has very large and sharp teeth, but it's not T-Rex, is it?
No, what if you looked at a T-Rex and you went, this is going to be a chicken?
Someday that's going to be a chicken.
Yeah.
I suppose, that kind of, but someday it is also going to be an eagle.
Well, I don't know. No, are eagles...
I mean, they're part of that whole lineage.
They're part of the whole lineage, but
all birds.
They found a direct link between T-Rex and
T-Rex and chickens.
Yeah,
maybe. I don't know.
I believe they did. I believe that was a news story.
I don't know what would have like.
I believe it is.
What small? You believe it is. Doesn't mean it's true. I know. Just because you believe something doesn't make it true.
I believe I can fly.
That's what faith is about.
Yeah.
Just because you believe something doesn't mean it's true. Yeah, that's what faith is about. Your faith is in chickens. You believe in chickens. Okay.
Bark, bark.
Hey, it's America.
Bark, bark.
Is that one of your hymns?
Yeah, it's one of our hymns.
One of your chicken hymns?
We sing a hymn to the mighty chicken.
Do you start your service with a cock-a-doodle-doo?
We do. Cock-a-doodle-doo.
I don't know why that was so funny.
I don't either.
But, it's like someday the T-Rex is going to be a chicken, but then you look over at Archaeopteryx, and it's like someday that's going to be a beautiful bird that's pretty.
I believe the Archaeopteryx lineage died.
Oh, look at you knowing so much about fucking paleontology.
I love paleontology.
If I was fucking...
Apparently can't say it, though.
If I was 8 years old, I would have destroyed you. When I was 8, I was obsessed with dinosaurs and paleontology. I wanted to be a paleontologist so bad, and then I kind of realized that I'm not particularly smart. I realized I despise doing research, or at least like official. I don't like doing official scholarly research where it's like you have to, read through these whole books and all that sort of stuff. I'm a filthy casual where it's like I'll look something up and make sure that it makes sense, but I don't know how to put together that's the biggest thing for me is I don't know how to collect it and put it together. I will read stuff, all day. And if it seems good, that's fine by me. That's, preferable if it's, reliable stuff. But I don't know how to put it together into something that I can call my own and say.
And yet you have a college degree. Well, kind of.
In broadcast. And also, I was a broadcast student.
Which I used to make fun of.
I don't have, it's not like I went to school for criminal justice or history or something like that where I really had to do research.
Right.
It's like I had to do that for...
Or paleontology.
A couple of my English classes and history classes and whatnot. And then once it all became broadcasting, it was like, here's a camera. go, I don't know. That was broadcasting, basically.
I don't know.
Here's a camera, here's a microphone. Go point it at stuff and talk about
Why are you bothering me?
Why are you bothering me? Hey,
get out of here.
What are you on, you damn kids?
You got a mic? Can you record? Go away.
Can you record? Now go away.
Yeah, see, I didn't want to be a paleontologist. I wanted to be a cancer specialist for an elderly Brazilian soccer player.
Okay. That's very specific.
I wanted to be Pele's oncologist.
God damn it! Son of a bitch! It took me, I was like, wait, is he talking? When you said elderly, I didn't connect it. I thought of Pele.
Yeah.
I did not connect it to paleontology.
Pele's oncologist, yeah. Sorry.
Is that from somewhere or did you just make that up?
I just made that up.
You're a fucking genius, sir, and I despise you. God damn it. Anyway. One thing that I wanted to talk about with this album is Wikipedia, curiously, has this labeled as a melodic death metal album.
Would you call it melodic death metal?
I wouldn't. I mean, there is some melody. There's more melody than certain other death metal bands. But if this is melodic death metal, then like
anything is.
Then like the Anthropocene extinction by cattle decapitation is melodic death metal.
Because there's melody in that too.
Yeah, and I get it because at the time, most death metal did not have any melody in it. Like there is some melody in some of these songs, but I think the vast majority of songs are more straight up death metal. It's just tighter and more well produced than was.
Yeah, and there are chord progressions in here that made sense melodically.
Yeah, and like I get that, and I get why they would want to call it that. And I've heard this cited as like one of the seminal records that resulted in, you know, a wave of melodic death metal bands, and it's like one of the founding works of the genre or the subgenre. But like I just don't see it that way.
No,
I don't see it that way at all. Like if this is our T-Rex, people calling this death or melodic death metal is somebody pointing at like a bat and saying, "Yeah, that T-Rex turned into this bat."
That's wrong.
That's wrong. Bats are mammals, dipshit. That bat is descended from some mammal, some synapsid creature.
Right. Yeah. A mole. A mole-like creature.
Yeah. Well, but they're a mammal-like, you know, mammal-like reptiles.
Shrew-like.
Yeah.
Shrew-like reptiles.
Yeah. I know all about the paleontology. I know all about that stuff, so I'm like pretty smart.
So I guess I got that going on for me.
I got that going on, but yeah, I wouldn't call this melodic death metal. Like, to me, melodic death metal is not only do the instruments have to have melody, there has to be like some sort of melodic singing.
There has to be a melodic vocal in there somehow. Even if it's harsh, gruff, it has to be like in some sort of key. Jeff Walker's never in key.
Yeah, it's very specifically growls.
Yeah.
Well, I mean they're higher, but I think I wouldn't call it like a shriek or anything.
No, it's definitely growling.
I feel like I'm trying to clear my throat, but maybe I'm just going hoarse. I don't know. But good boy. Here's your boy. Oh, hey, Arthur's back. Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah. Also not a sponsor of this podcast.
Also not Red Dead Redemption 2, not a sponsor of this podcast.
We're giving all this free shit away. What's going on here?
What's wrong with us? It's good shit, though.
It is.
Game. It's good shit.
Haven't played it yet. Like I said, haven't got it.
You're gonna have to. I'll make you. Maybe I'll buy it for you for Christmas. Who knows? I don't have money.
Don't do that. Yeah,
I don't have money. So what was I saying about this? I wouldn't call. I just wouldn't call this melodeath.
No.
You know, like you listen to Arch Enemy. That's melodeath.
That's melodeath.
That is melodeath right there.
Now, isn't one of the guitar players from Carcass in Arch Enemy?
That's a great question. Let's look up Arch Enemy. Michael Amott. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Michael Amott in Arch Enemy. This is one of those albums that you listen to and you can hear all like for me, as someone that, again, didn't grow up with it, there's so much stuff that is very obviously influenced by either this album directly or the band or just this particular style of death metal.
Sure.
I was talking, and I'm planning on talking about it more the next time it comes around to you with death. Mm-hmm. The Guthenberg riff or the death riff, the dun 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 dun, because that has been used by 8 billion different bands, most of them metalcore bands.
Yeah,
that riff has been used in so many songs. There was a guy on Reddit who compiled a list of all the different songs that you can hear, and not it wasn't even all of them. There was like 17 songs, and that was not all of them.
It was just a compilation.
That was just the ones that he could find. But then people in the comments were like, "Oh, it's in this one. It's in this one. It's in this one."
Wow.
And it's maybe at first it was a reference, but it's also like it's a very good riff, or at the very least a chord progression or whatever you want to call it. Mm-hmm. It can be both. Where like there was some open chord strumming in this album or like some chugs. There were a couple chugs.
There's chugging in here.
And the rhythm to those chugs is really what brought Killswitch to mind.
Which we were going to talk about at one point.
We'll get there again someday.
Like in January.
In January, probably. Maybe. I'm also trying to come up with a month to do non-metal albums. I think I might choose April.
April?
Yeah, because like April Fools, we're not doing metal. I don't know.
A metallic April.
That could work. The obvious one for alliteration is No Metal November,
but that's a long time from now.
That's way too long from now, and there's albums that I want to talk about because I listen to a lot of stuff that isn't metal these days. I listen to a fair amount. I listen to a ton of post rock. I listen to a fair amount of like folk. I've been listening to a band called Daughter a lot lately that I really like. At my heart, I'm still an emo kid, so there's parts of me that really wants to reach out to that, to those genres, or at least things that make me feel sad, or things that just make me feel. Because those are. I treasure this album made me feel emotions. I'm just gonna hug this real tight to me,
and cry a little.
Cry a little. That's part of why I like the Wonder Years so much. Their newest album had me in tears at a couple of points. So I really
you are an emo kid, aren't you?
Yes, I'm an emo kid that never had an emo phase. Is what it is. I think I never had a phase where I actually listened to that style, to specifically emo the genre, like because I was of like listening age right after that fell off.
Sure.
Right after that fell off is like the in thing, and so it was up to me to scratch that itch with stuff that wasn't emo, and I've sort of attached to that, and then started to get into a couple of things that you could call emo.
Okay,
that's just a little bit about me.
So we're into metal for different reasons,
I guess. Yeah, I mean, I've always been into metal as like an emotion thing first, where it's like if this. Not necessarily if like, it makes me feel sad or like it makes me want to cry or something, but it's like if something slaps, then I can mosh to it or something like that. Then that's an emotional release. That's an emotional event.
Totally.
And I enjoy that, but and I can certainly enjoy technicality, but that's another part of and when the two things come together.
Two great flavors.
Two great flavors, one low price, like Where Owls Know My Name by Rivers of Nile. That's part of why I love that album so much.
Rivers of Nile always comes up. That album comes up.
It's because it's great. We're gonna talk. Next week.
Rivers of Nile.
We're talking about Monarchy by Rivers of Nile. It's the album that came before Where Owls Know My Name. It's still very good. Not quite as emotionally gripping for me, but it's still good stuff. I still like it a lot.
Right on.
Maybe heavier than their newer one, but neither is better nor worse for that reason.
Okay.
So yeah, we're gonna talk about that next week. Is Monarchy by Rivers of Nile? I'm excited for that. Woohoo! Then the week after that, you've got what was it?
Leprosy.
Leprosy. Yes, Leprosy by Death.
Woohoo!
And then we're rounding out. We're getting closer. We're getting closer to those whales. Can you feel them? Can you feel
Gojira?
Can you feel the rumbling, of the riffs in the distance? I tried to pick up that album. I tried to pick it up.
Yeah.
But I couldn't because it was the heaviest matter in the universe. Oh, more Gojira puns are coming, dear listener. More Gojira puns are coming.
Like, are we going to probably mention where they got their name? I mean, hopefully at some point.
What? Yeah. Where did they get their name? I don't know that. We'll talk about that. Yeah. So, yeah, excited for Death Metal December. You out there, stay excited. Mm-hmm. I've been sharing some stuff on the Facebook page. I shared a Death Metal Christmas thing the other day. Just December as a month, it's festive for other reasons besides being Death Metal December. And so one album, if you want to, it's not a heavy metal Christmas thing, but it is metallic. There's The Lost Christmas Eve by the Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Yeah, otherwise known as Sabotage.
Also otherwise known as Sabotage, which is, yes, an associated band with the same people. But if you want a band that is like specifically Christmas, like they've done so many Christmas-related things.
Yeah, the Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Yeah, check out specifically The Lost Christmas Eve, I think, with the narration too.
And do yourself a favor and go out and find a copy of No Presents for Christmas by...
That one I have not.
You haven't heard it? Oh, I'll have to treat you to that one. That's King Diamond.
Okay. There is also Sledden Hill by August Burns Red.
Sure.
Which fucking rips. And then I believe they have a new Christmas album that I haven't listened to yet. I think they actually have a new Christmas album that I'm going to have to listen to. They don't have original Christmas songs in there. All of the
traditional.
They're all traditional, but in August Burns Red style.
Sure.
And it's great. It's great stuff. Great metal to get you through December, but don't forget about death metal.
December.
Yeah. Hail Satan and all that stuff. In December.
Yeah. But only in December.
You could also listen to black metal in December because it's cold. I feel like black metal's a January.
Or if you want to pull out an album by Dismember.
By Dismember. There you go.
You've heard Dismember, haven't you?
Maybe. A little bit.
Treat you to that one,
death
too.
Metal. Dismember December? Is that next year?
A December to Dismember.
A December to Dismember. All right. I think we've kind of punned ourselves out. If you like this podcast, please check us out on our social media websites. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. We are on Instagram. I haven't done anything. I might post a picture of the new rig on Instagram.
Nice.
Have to
you have posted a picture of the new rig on Instagram.
But that was on my Instagram, though.
Oh,
it was on my personal. That you don't.
That's right. I was stalking you personally.
Yeah, you were stalking me personally.
Gotcha.
So I might post a picture of that, and you can see all my doodads and my Lego headphone holder. That doesn't really hold headphones all that much anymore because I take these headphones I'm wearing to work. But
remember to send us a buck, and we'll talk about you.
Yeah, send us a buck. We'll talk about you, I guess. Find us on Facebook first.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, I want to send you $1, and then I'll go through the steps to actually set up my PayPal or something, or maybe I'll set up a Patreon. I don't know.
Send us $1, and you know what? We'll talk smack about you too if you like.
Sure, we're
actually pretty good at that.
If you have a funny name and you want, I might have to make you sign a digital contract first. Be like, he paid us to do this. We're not slandering.
This is not slandering.
This is not slander. That might be a good idea. Anyhow, yeah, check us out on social media if you like us. Share us with your friends. Retweet us on Twitter. That's I think probably the easiest way to share us with other people.
Sure.
And to get us exposure is retweeting us on Twitter. You can share us on Facebook too. If you follow us on Facebook, you see the link to the podcast. Share it with your friends. If you got friends that listen to metal, maybe they'll like this. I don't know. Maybe they'll get a kick out of it. Maybe they think we're funny. Maybe they think we're funny. We're funny, man.
Well, who's a funny guy? Hey, Kay, you funny guy. You funny guy, Kay.
All right, Dr. Roxo, the rock and roll clown. I do cocaine, baby. Okay. It's time for us to wrap this shit up. So thank you very much for listening. I'm Kale.
I'm OJ.
You've made it to the end of another episode of the Bronze Metalist Podcast.
Congratulations.